I woke up. What season is it today? Oh, okay. All kind of different. All right. So we are going to be in Romans. If you want to turn over there, I think we're going to be mostly in 14 to start with, and then we're going to move on from there. We got a lot of ground to cover. To quote the great theologian Jerry Reed, we got a long way to go in a short time to get there. So we're going to get moving on this. This is our second week in Romans. If you weren't here last week, we're going to do a quick recap of where we were and try to get some more progress going on this. So the problem in Rome is twofold. Largely, there is a divided church among racial lines. Not entirely, but mostly along those lines. You have your Jews who used to be in control of the church. Emperor Claudius kicks them out of Rome. They leave, and now the Gentiles have been doing things their way. When the Jews are finally allowed to come back to Rome, they feel like their church has been stolen from them. It's not home anymore. We don't know what's going on here anymore. And so they feel like they are weak. And the Gentiles have all the power. They're the strong ones. And so we get this weak versus strong. Who's in control? And you have the weak that are constantly saying, well, we're the victims. We're this isn't fair to us. And you have to do it our way because we are suffering. And you have the Gentiles who are pushing back and they're saying, well, no, that's not exactly the case. We get to call the shots because, hey, we're here. We've been here. We've made these decisions and this is where we are. And so it's this constant back and forth fight between the weak and the strong, the largely Jews and the largely Gentiles. Now understand that there's some overlap, right? Paul considers himself among the strong. He's a Jew. So he sees things that, hey, we don't have to do all this sort of stuff. We have some freedoms in Christ. Let's enjoy it. So it's not perfectly down that line, but it's more or less down that line. The strong are able to tolerate more than the weak, and the strong suggest that the other side, the weak, their faith is weak because they can't see things the same way that they do. So we were in Romans chapter 14. I'm just going to start in verse 1. Except the one whose faith is weak, Paul writes, without quarreling over disputable matters. Take note, there are matters that it's okay to dispute about. I don't have to see this the same way that you do. We can have our different views, and yet we can still be unified. We talked about in chapter 16 how there's at least 6 house churches mentioned. Did I say 6 or 16? Sorry. I need more coffee, apparently. In Romans 16, there are at least 6 house churches that are meeting all over the city. Some of them have Gentile names that are in charge of them. Some of them have Jewish names that are in charge of them. Paul could have very easily said, Gentiles go to Gentile churches, Jews go to Jewish churches. Y'all wave to each other when you're on the street, but otherwise stay separate, and y'all can get along that way. That's the easy way to do it. But Paul says that's the wrong way to do it. He wants them to be different. He wants them to be convinced of their own views and yet still unified. He says in verse 2, one person's faith allows him to eat anything, but another, whose faith is weak, eats only vegetables. The one who eats everything must not treat with contempt the one who does not. And the one who does not eat everything must not judge the one who does, for God has accepted them. Who are you to judge someone else's servant? Own